Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator news and updates, and we have a ton of things to talk about today, including what I think is the best replay system that's on the market. Stick around. One app designed to do it all. Hangar Control brings everything together: control bindings, hardware configuration, mod and profile management, application launching, add-ons, config files, and more, all managed from a single application. Mods Hangar goes beyond just mods and add-ons. It manages profiles, config files, text files, backups, snapshots, and helps keep your community folders clean and organized. Application Hangar launches your entire sim stack with a single click. Your Stream Decks are fully controlled through the Hangar Control plugin, while all of your other Stream Deck plugins remain active and available. Built by a simmer for simmers, Hangar Control adds new features and hardware support every week based on community feedback. It's a one-time purchase with lifetime updates, no subscriptions. You can try it for free for 5 days with no restrictions at overkillsimulations.com. Just create an account, head to your account page, download the latest version, and get started. And if you're looking for in-depth Microsoft Flight Simulator aircraft tutorials, check out my Patreon site. Links to Hangar Control and Patreon are down in the description below. Alright, so getting right into it, a teaser for Flight Control Replay 6 has been revealed, signaling what the developer describes as a new generation of the popular replay tool. If you enjoy recording your flights and doing replays of them, cinematic, or capturing just fun moments that you want to be able to show others or review yourself, this is the best tool I believe is on the market. It is a payware software, but it is absolutely fantastic. One of the biggest changes is a completely redesigned interface. Flight Control Tools says that they will provide a faster workflow and more intuitive slider-based control system. A new cinematic mode will allow fully unrestricted camera movement, enabling more immersive and film-style captures than before. Also, there is a new flyby camera system exclusive to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 that's important to note, which enables users to track live flights with precision zoom and integrated AI traffic support. This builds on the tool's core strength of replaying and capturing flights, now with more dynamic and automated camera behavior. Additional features include automatic highlight creation, allowing simmers to quickly generate key moments of their flights, and a dedicated data logger interface with detachable charts for deeper analysis. Existing users will also benefit from a reduced upgrade pricing, although full details are not yet announced. Again, this is an absolutely fabulous application. I highly recommend it. Moving on to the Black Square Cessna Caravan, very popular aircraft, and Black Square, again meeting the standards that Black Square pushes out, has already pushed out another upgrade to the Caravan Professional that they released last month. The Black Square Caravan Professional for Microsoft Flight Simulator is a high-fidelity rework of the developer's original Cessna 208 Caravan project. With the Professional release, Black Square delivered a full rework of custom systems, failures, and enhanced realism, along with replicating the real-world turbine operations of the Caravan. As a result, the Black Square Caravan has quickly become the favorite among the flight sim community. As you guys know, I'm sure, the Caravan has always been a very high target and very valued aircraft amongst Microsoft Flight Simulator, and this one certainly takes the cake. While the version 1.1 release covered an abundance of features and bug fixes, the headline feature is a comprehensive rework of the engine audio. Black Square has gone to great lengths to ensure the immersive experience from startup to shutdown with new recordings and simulated behavior. This includes the bassier liftoff sounds, improved turbine spool with layered whine sounds, improved fuel introduction, and combustor rumble. The interior propeller audio has also been rebalanced, including a new beta sound and transition. Beyond the audio improvements, version 1.1 also brings a number of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 specific water visual enhancements to the Caravan Amphibian version. Users will now experience prop wash, float spray, 3D bow waves, and water trails with the aircraft. In addition, a new parameter was added to prevent existing issue where the floats would collide with underwater terrain. On the systems handling side of things, the KAP-140 autopilot now defaults to vertical speed mode upon engagement, with improved enunciation logic. The stall warning sensitivity has also been slightly increased to add more buffers before the stall anticipation. Furthermore, Black Square has removed MSFS's built-in torque assistance and adjusted the thrust angles to better simulate the aircraft's real-world left-turning tendencies. This change should result in a more realistic trim inputs during power changes at cruise, and characteristic noted by real-world Caravan pilots. Black Square is by far, I think, one of the best, if not the best, in their arena of aircraft developers that's on the market today. I would say that it is a very close head-to-head when it comes to Black Square versus A2A simulations, and I would highly recommend any of the Black Square aircraft. They are by far my favorite. My latest chew-on has definitely been the Duke for quite a long time, and believe it or not, not even the turbine Duke, but the piston Duke. It's a really, really great twin-engine aircraft when you want to get into general aviation, but don't necessarily want all the bells and whistles that come with the turbine aircraft. Basically just meaning more range, faster performance, and higher altitudes. But any of their aircraft, you guys, any of their aircraft, you cannot go wrong. Black Square really does shape the market when it comes to high fidelity, visually and auditorially and performance accurate simulations of their aircraft. And it puts a lot of time and effort into making sure they get it right. And as you can see with this latest update, it doesn't waste any time in pushing it out when it comes to the attention that something may be wrong. Very, very fantastic aircraft. I've already done one review on it. I intend to fly it significantly more. And what's funny enough is I personally was never a big fan of the Caravan until I bought this version, simply because I didn't really want to fly the G1000. But this one gives you a plethora of different avionics options. The G1000 I do not believe is one of them, but you do have things like the GTN 750. So you can certainly get the advanced flight planning ability in there, just not with the glass cockpit, which is my preference. I personally do prefer the old analog cockpits. I think it's busier in a simulation experience. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. FS Dream Team has bounced back with the latest update of GSX to version 3.8.7 with a large number of fixes and improvements, as well as some new features. One of those new features is the inclusion of the AvaRamp ramped staircase in GSX Pro, which is a step-free alternative to traditional stairs when aircraft are parked on remote stands. Other new features in all other GSX versions include the gate selection menu hiding positions that are too small for your aircraft, a simultaneous jetway plus rear stairs option that allows boarding and deboarding to use jetways and rear stairs simultaneously, support for the PMDG fans 2B CDU, and new handling and catering operations, as well as much, much more. It is a pretty extensive update. I do recommend that you check out the FS Dream Team's website, where you can check out the full changelog, but they're definitely putting a lot of work into it. I have not done GCX in quite a while, or GSX, excuse me, in quite a while due to all of the problems that it used to have. However, after the last few updates, I will say I have gone in and tested, and the performance seems to be significantly better than what it was before. I will be testing out 3.8.7 this week and doing a full video review of GSX, given the fact that it has gone through so many changes since the initial release of it. Obviously, with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 added a whole new plethora of issues for many softwares, and GSX was not immune to that. So, again, there will be a full review coming this week on GSX 3.8.7 if you guys are interested and have not picked it up yet. From an immersion standpoint, it certainly, when working and working well, adds a great deal of it. It is definitely something that creates an environment of a live airport and a live aircraft, if you will, bringing animations and people boarding and different sounds and operations that need to take place in order for an commercial airliner to do what it does. And so if you are someone who is looking for that type of immersion or that type of scenario to build around your flight experience, whether it has some issues or not, it is still very much so something that's worth looking into. Definitely check out latest reviews, other YouTubers and content creators' videos on it, and decide if that's something that you would like to add for yourself. It does come at quite a price point if memory serves, though it has been a while since I have purchased it, obviously. But again, the features are certainly something that are very welcome in any flight simulation experience if you're into the commercial aircraft arena. Next up, small-time developers, which I love supporting, are stepping into the arena, bringing something absolutely phenomenal into the simulation experience at a price point that is affordable, and I do mean that. So building a home cockpit used to be something that only the wealthiest of simmers could generally afford, and that is absolutely fact. The hardcore devices and expensive gear would add up very, very quickly to where something to create, with a few screens, maybe a couple of control panels, would run you a few $1,000s deep, if not more. But as we know, over the last 3 or 4 years, things have changed dramatically with wind control and wing flex and Rosefire, and now Moses stepping into the same arena. FlightSimBuilder.com and many more are starting to make things far more competitive. However, if you want to have your instruments running on a separate display than your main monitor, up until recently, there was a lot of pricing that went into it, or at the very least, a lot of customization required in order to make it feel more realistic or to give you the look that you were feeling for. So, these guys have done a great job. This is IE Sims. They are a new upstart hardware builder based in the UK that will sell you an external PFD and nav display for just around £80. Obviously, taxes and things like that have to come into play, and so that's something that you just have to take into consideration, but that goes with everybody. A quote from the developer: "The project started when I originally bought a small portable monitor just so I didn't have to squint at the instruments on my main screen anymore. It was a total game changer for me, but it didn't look like a cockpit. My friend, now business partner, 3D printed a custom housing for it, and we realized there was a massive gap in the market for compact, affordable, yet authentic feeling FS system." This was all just before Rosefire announced the A10B. So, they came out with this amazing product. This thing is slick, and I'm going to definitely be picking up a copy of this. This is exactly the type of developer that reaches my strings, if you will. I love the small-time developers. I love the developers who haven't gotten big and are still in it for the right reasons and are still looking to truly make the flight simulation experience reachable to anybody. They have some really awesome stuff here that are coming out across multiple developers. One of the best places I will also tell you to look aside from this is Etsy. Etsy is still a great place to look for a lot of simulation experience stuff. The only problem with is sometimes it can be slightly more expensive, but that's because you don't have all the mass production options that some of the larger companies do. It certainly makes a difference. But I highly recommend that you guys take a look at this. Again, this is, I want to make sure I get their name right. Where was it again? IE Sims. IE Sims. Make sure that you guys check this out. I think it's absolutely worth the look. I really hope that they continue to build upon this. There are so many different things that you can do, and this is why I'm a big proponent of touch screens and things like that. We're going to be talking about a new introduction to Hangar Control that came out this last week for touch screens and building your own panels and stuff like that. It's a fantastic way to truly make the sim yours without having to break the bank. And with 3D printing being what it is, these guys seem to be capitalizing on it and keeping the price at a point that makes sense, where you still make a little bit of money, where you're still providing an awesome piece of hardware and experience to your end user without having them to take out a second mortgage in order to pay for their flight sim equipment. So to IE Sims, best of luck. I will certainly be purchasing one of your products just to check it out, if for no other reason than to get your name out there. Stay tuned for more. Next up, we have a big update to Hangar Control that was released this week. If you guys are interested, make sure you go to overkillsimulations.com, create your account first, and you can then download a free trial of the software or purchase it. But you want to create that account first. We added a touch panel. Touch panel support allows you to create literally an infinite number of different panels that you can put on various touch panels or displays. These touch panels do not have to be directly connected to your computer. It can be an iPad, your cell phone, whatever it may be. But it also supports touch panels that are located directly on the computer, as it simply uses a browser window, whether that be launched locally or again on a portable device on the same Wi-Fi network. Now, what started out as initially was just going to be a button type box thing, where you just create your own different buttons and have your controls, has already turned into something much, much more. I wanted to go beyond that. I wanted to have something that, again, fits Hangar Control's mission, which is to be a one-stop shop software that will hit all of your simulation needs. So what we've also added is the ability to create gauges. So much like Air Manager or something similar like that, you also have the ability to create your own custom gauges, and as each week goes through, there will be new updates to the in-house library of gauges, which I'll display here in just a moment. But it gives you full control of your simulators, just like it would if it was directly bound to your hardware. So you have the options of your buttons. You still have the options of doing sequences and steps. Though long press and short press work a little bit more finicky there, so I don't recommend doing those. But anything you can think of for a touch panel, you have that ability. You also have a full library of different icons and buttons that will also honor the state changes, so you can actually see the buttons turn on and off. And all of that jazz as well. So it is a very, very powerful tool that's going to offer a ton of ability. The state change operation works just like it would if it was on the Stream Deck or any other kind of touch panel. It's very similar to quote-unquote a VDeck like what you saw with SPAD.next, another absolutely amazing piece of software. And so we have something similar built in. But again, the idea and the mission behind Hangar Control is to eventually be a software that can absolutely control just about any aspect of your flight sim or other sim experience, as we are soon getting ready to support American Truck Simulator. There are innovations that are coming to that and integrations that are coming to that very, very soon that are currently in testing. So super excited to share that information with you guys as well soon. This also supports Microsoft Flight Simulators 2020, 2024, X-Planes 11 and 12, as well as currently DCS World. Another big change to the latest release of DCS World is we can now do state change based on variable in DCS World as well. So for example, as you just saw here for Microsoft Flight Simulator, when you flip a switch on, you'll actually be able to see the switch go to an on state, and then off, it'll return to the off state. We're now adding that support to DCS World as well for both the Stream Deck as well as the touch panel system. And here you can see the gauges in action. So we're setting up the gauges right now, we're building it all out, and you can actually have multiple panels, which is what we're displaying here. These are multiple panels. One of them is set up as a button panel. The next one will be a panel that is dedicated to your gauges. So you don't have to worry about trying to change pages and things like that, as each new page has its own port number. So you could have multiple devices set up with your particular devices and gauges and have them on various displays. Again, cell phones, laptops, doesn't really matter. It literally does not matter. If it can access a web browser that is local on your Wi-Fi, you will be able to use it as a display, as a gauge point, as a, whatever you want to do with it. Finally, there's also the ability to add in images, charts, and things like that, and add a draw layer on top of it, meaning that you can use your finger to either fill out checklists, write different panels, draw your taxi paths, whatever it may be, but you'll have the ability to simply draw things as you wish, whether it be with a finger, your stylus, whatever it may be. And those images can be saved within your directory for a later use. You have the ability of grouping different panels based on your different aircraft. It is a very, very powerful feature. There is much, much more that has come to Hangar Control in this last update, so I highly recommend you guys give it a shot. It does come with a 5-day free trial, and it is absolutely really turning into just a beast. I'm very, very proud of the software and the way that has come along. It's been a ton of work, and I really hope for those of you who want to give it a shot, you will enjoy what it brings to your simulation experience. As always, folks, that is the end of our Microsoft Flight Simulator news and updates. Stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.